welcome to the Friday morning live show. We'd like to start off our show this morning with some personal congratulatory shout-outs. For our first shout-out today, we'd like to give a big shout-out to Chris Columbus for discovering America, where Leif Erikson had already discovered it 500 years before him, and also millions of Native Americans had inhabited the land. Our next big shout out goes out to my homeboy, Tom Edison, who electrocuted cats, dogs, and numerous elephants in attempt to receive credit for his invention, electricity. Our next big shout out goes to Dr. George Guy. We're going to talk about that one later. Our next shout out is to that fine, young, loving man, Hugh Hefner, who literally is famous for owning a house. Our last but not least big shout out goes out to some people very dear to our hearts, teachers. But more specifically, T-Hubs. Because on every one of those handouts she gave us, Miss Spears' name is on the top, and she just takes credit for them like that. Alright folks, it's going to be a great show tonight. Our two special guests are Dr. George Guy, doctor known for many things, which we will find out later, and also the famous author Rebecca Skloot, who will be talking about her new book, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. Alright, it's going to be a great show this morning, guys. And live from Chandler, Arizona, it's Friday morning! Fine, Rebecca Skloot. She is the author of The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, and we're going to be talking with her a little bit today. So, Miss Skloot, tell us, how did yours and Deborah Lacks' relationship begin?
Well, Carolyn, first I just want to say thank you for having me, and it's a crazy story because first she didn't even talk to me, like for months, actually like a year. She didn't even talk to me, and then when we finally talked, all we talked about was her and her mom. She didn't ask about me not one time, Carolyn, not once.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
but how did that make you feel?
It made me feel rejected, you know, like she had no interest in me, but it was okay because, you know, she was very sensitive at the time. She's been through a lot, and we were really able to bond, and now we're just really great friends.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
Yeah,
we're so glad.
So that's kind of how our relationship got started.
Awesome. All right, Rebecca, our next question, what really inspired you to write The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks?
Well, Carolyn, I've been on this topic since I was a child, and
it must be so hard.
Yeah, it's really been in my soul, you know, and I just wanted to find out the facts because it's been so interesting to me. And once I finally found out what was happening in this woman's life, I could not let the truth be unheard.
Oh,
I couldn't let it be unheard.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, and so I had to publish it. I had to let everybody know that this is what's happening. This is the truth.
She deserves it.
Yeah, Henrietta and her family, they all deserve credit, you know.
That is so inspiring, Rebecca.
Yeah, so who wouldn't write this book after you found out the truth?
I feel like so many people would have tried to write it, but you got to it.
Yeah.
And did a fabulous job. Thank you.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Thank you. All right, Rebecca, we have one more question for you tonight.
Okay.
And I have to tell you, I haven't read much of your book, I'll admit it. But the first sentence really grabbed me. You know, like the first sentence of your prologue. It says, "There's a photo on my wall of a woman I've never met," and it just blew my mind. Like, is this true or merely an anecdote? Like, will you please tell us, is this true? it's been killing me, you know.
Well, Carolyn, it's not true. Because you know what else it says on that book? It says it's a New York Times bestseller. That's funny. It was a New York Times okay seller. So, you know, I just can't, you know, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I guess, you can't believe everything you read, folks. Yes. Well, thank you, Rebecca, for coming on to Friday Morning Live and discussing your new book with us. We really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Stay tuned, folks, because after this short commercial break, you'll be hearing from Dr. George Guy. All right, today we have Dr. George Guy with us. Thank you. All right, for our first question, I've just been dying to know, George, how did you feel when you first discovered the immortality of the HeLa cells? Please enlighten us.
Well, when I first looked into the Petri dish, I was really surprised. I didn't expect there to be anything living in there, but there was, and
oh my gosh.
You know, after studying a little bit, thought it was something that'd be really significant. So there's some stuff in here that's pretty accurate. I did send it to other researchers, and it was one of the definitely top 3 ones not.
Wow. What would you say the other top 2 are of your life?
Yeah, it was actually probably the top 1. So.
Oh, that is awesome. Great feeling. Speaking of HeLa, how do you feel about like the public concern for the potential of HeLa monsters?
Well, Caroline, I think that potential is very real.
Yeah.
HeLa monsters do exist. They are, a lot of people think they're very scary. They're highly venomous and they're actually endangered. Personally, I think they should be kept in boxes and away from most of Arizona society where they
Our last question for you. All right. True or false? Did you or did you not take credit for Henrietta Lacks' cells and fail to inform both her and her family? Tell us.
You know what? I did take credit, but that's not the whole story. This is the whole story. You know what? I had one job, and it was not to inform the family. I did my job in the name of science, and I helped cure polio, and send cells to space, and all this other stuff. And that book makes you look bad, and it's not okay.
Not okay.
In fact, I'm suing for slander.
Is this like new information?
Yeah, no, this is like
release?
right now. This is right now. This is breaking news.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Dr. George Guy. Such a pleasure to have you. All right, guys, well, that's all we have today for Friday Morning Live. Please watch again. That's FML Friday Morning Live. Thank you, and good morning.